Hey, Shalom, it's Fallen Yeshua. Welcome back again to The Rock. You are looking at Chicken Run Coop number 2, and a couple roosters and hens. A couple roosters and the hens are doing really well in here. As you can see, this one's not enclosed. My other coop run is probably a little bit, not about the same size, but it is completely enclosed. And I have 2 coops in that one. And this is my 3rd coop, but my 2nd run. And then, of course, I have my roosters, which I raise for meat. These are the ones that we eat. And in both of our coop slash runs, minus our rooster, we call the rooster cage the refrigerator. But we're getting an unbelievable amount of eggs. But also, we hatch our own. So we have to keep a couple roosters with the hens in both run coops. But anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I want to talk to you about was, you see what's going on, and it's so sad about the flooding and what happened in North Carolina and Georgia and Tennessee, and the copious amount of damage that was done by the Hurricane Helene. And of course, we now have another hurricane headed towards Florida, Tampa, Florida, which they're saying projecting to be very, very bad. It's a Cat 5 right now, and they're saying it could hit Tampa as a Cat 3, Cat 4, hopefully as low as a Cat 2, but that's still just bad, storm surge and everything. But the thing I find most interesting is the amount of people that have come and tried to help, their neighbor, help the area. People flying in food and water and bringing in food and water. And then FEMA comes in and says, give it to us, we'll distribute it. And then the areas that are hardest hit are the areas that are not getting the distribution. They've blocked internet service, I won't say blocked, but it's been tough to get it. Even when people have brought in the Starlinks, the government's been dragging their feet and getting the Starlinks to the people that needed it most. That's your government. Then FEMA comes out and says, "Oh, we ran out of money. We ran out of money because we're housing illegals to the tunes of billions of dollars. We're sending money overseas to help Ukraine, and that's not FEMA, that's the government. But the government, FEMA's part of the government. So now they're out of money, and we have another hurricane coming, and people have, of their own finances, of their own possessions, decided they want to help their fellow man, and the government said no, you have to go through us. And they kind of, I was listening to some articles about it, or listening to some news reports about it, and some independent, journalists on YouTube, and it made me think about how the church is. How many of you have been part of a church where you want to help somebody outside of, the pastor, and the pastor gets upset because the pastor wants you to give your resources to them, and then they'll distribute it to the ones that they see need it the most. But here the pastor doesn't have his boots on the ground. Just like most of these people in FEMA and the government, they don't have their boots on the ground. They're not the people that are there right now looking at people suffering. They're sitting up in their high rises, they're shopping, and they're passing legislation that makes, or they're passing rules that say you have to bring your resources to us, and then we'll give it to the people that we see fit. And what you see right now is a lot of people are suffering, and a lot of people that have resources are stuck to trying to sneak their resources in. I got firsthand knowledge because I know some people out there. I know some people who have suffered from the flooding. And I know some people that are trying to help, and they're on their 4-wheelers, they're on their ATVs, they're on their dirt bikes, bringing resources, and literally on a dirt bike trying to bring in a 24-pack of water to a family who has heard a couple helicopters fly by, but nobody's actually reached out to them. And this same brother that is riding his dirt bike, and actually it's not even a brother, it's a friend of mine, that's riding his dirt bike in, actually got threatened with arrest for trying to take his 4x4 as close as he could to try and offload a whole truckload of water. And it just reminded me of these churches. Here you are, you know of a family that's suffering, and you have the ability to help them firsthand. You know firsthand they're suffering, and here you are wanting to help, and the pastor and the elders and leadership says, no, you should give it to us, and then we'll distribute it to who we see fit. That's why the Bible says for you to do it. That's why the Bible tells you, you leave the edges of your field so that you can help the people that have need of it. You who has your foot on the ground, who knows that brother, who knows that family, who knows that sister, who knows them, you are able to say, I have some extra, I'm going to give it to them. But these churches are riled up today. They don't want you doing that. They want you to deliver your resources to them, and then they'll distribute the resources, which can mean anything. That can mean that the people that they like most get the resources. Sometimes, and most times, it means the pastor gets the resources. That's why you see pastors driving around in vehicles that you can never possibly afford, living in houses, living lives that you could never have. So your average American, you paid your taxes and you watched your money get sent in overseas. You watched your resources, what you paid in, get sent overseas. And here you are thinking, oh, okay, natural disaster happens. Government's going to be there to help. See, these people in these positions aren't here to help you. They're not. A lot of people have found out that the government, they've trusted in government, just like a lot of you trusted in church. You trusted in your pastor, you trusted in your ministers, and you see them doing the same shit. When it comes down to it, they are about themselves. They would rather make sure that they can go on their vacation than to make sure that the people that need water, need food, you got winter coming up in a lot of these areas. A lot of these people are unhoused. Their houses, I was watching news reports, feet on the ground news reports of people's houses in the middle of roads. Literally, their house got moved off the foundation in the middle of a road. But see, the people that are in these federal emergency management, all of them, they don't care. They don't care. They get to go back to their home at the end of the day. While you're suffering, they get to go back home. While these people are suffering and people are trying to get water and trying to get food and trying to get warm weather clothing and blankets and the simple things, the basics of life to them, these people they're trying the best to stop these people from getting the resources in. That's why the Bible tells you, brothers and sisters, you do good. You. If you have extras and you can help somebody in this situation, do good. But for those of you who are part of churches, you see somebody in need, stop going to your pastor and asking them permission. Can you help somebody? Did the Holy Spirit put it on you? Did Yah put it on? Did Yah show you that person to help? Then maybe you should help them. You should help them instead of going to the church and expecting the church. Because you know what happens. You give to the church helps that person, and then the church says, look at what we did. And what the pastor really means is, look at what I did. You should be able to help that person with your own resources. That's why the Bible and the Torah talks about that. You leave the edges of your field. You do good to others. You do it. Not you hand the responsibility off to others. You do it. Just some thoughts as we watch this catastrophe and another possible catastrophe, and we watch our government, just bullshit these people, and these people who paid taxes and paid money and gave out of their income. We're now watching them be told, "Oh yeah, well we don't have enough money for you right now. We're broke. Yeah, we gave all of our money to everyone else on the outside." That's why the Bible tells you, brothers, take care of your home. If this country had taken care of its own first, instead of trying to import others in and take care of them, or send the money all the way overseas to support a war in two different fronts, instead of doing that, if they had taken care of their own, these people would have help. Brothers, take care of your own and do good to those that you can do good to. And stop expecting big government called church to do it for you. Bless y'all. Something to think about. Hopefully it does spawn some thinking. Got a little bit more work to do,